3 broken springs, fixed. Demonic wipers, fixed. Rusty front supreme, fixed. Headlights that won't turn off, fixed. But today is the big one. Before this £0 Clio goes anywhere near an MOT station, we need to sort the brakes, because if this fail, the whole project might be dead. Job done. Let's get to the other side now. Brake job done. Honestly, that's like the first time I'm doing brakes on any car. So in the comment section, rate my work. 10 out of 10, right? Anyways, that being said, I've put the plate number in. I've replaced the rear plate number light, the little bulbs thingy. I've also replaced the side mirror that was broken. And it's time to get this car to the MOT station. Oof. I don't know what to think. But yeah, let's get this car to the MOT station.
A few moments later.
We're back from the MOT center and you'll be pleased to know it passed. Well, it failed first and then it passed. Anyways, the only thing it failed on actually was the corroded brake pipe. Honestly, that's not up to my skill level and I left it to the garage to fix it. But after fixing that, it passed. But there's one thing I've just noticed. I don't know if you can see very clearly, but there's a crazy dent here. How? That is literally a dent that was never there before. And as you can see, it's even flaking off, meaning it's very, very recent. I need answers. I've just rang the center and they said they're going to get back to me, but are they doing me dirty? How? Like, that's a big dent. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm speechless, honestly, because one side I'm happy the car's passed its MOT, but it's come back with a big dent on the side. Like, for a car this world, they can scrap the car for just because of that. After fixing everything and then they scrap the car for that. Like, I literally don't know what to say or what to do now, but that's a dent and somebody needs to take responsibility for that. And it's not me because I didn't put that dent there. I literally haven't even driven this like anywhere, just to the garage and back. So answers need to be made for that. I'm still in shock, honestly. It's just... Hey, it's not even like a minor thing that, you can easily miss. If it's something like this, that one was there before, I understand, but it's like a big hole. Ha! Hey. Anyways, I was going to jack the car up and then check whatever they've done underneath the car just to be sure everything is in place and all that. But I'm speechless. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Let's break it down, shall we? Story. Okay. First things first, yeah. This car was sewn. After replacing everything I could on the car, I knew that the last thing that was on the list to be replaced was the corroded brake pipe. Like I said, that's like above my skill level, and I decided to just take it in, and if it fails on that, asked the garage to fix it. I went in store to quick fix, asked the guy there. I explained the whole situation and I told them, I know it's gonna fail on the corroded brake pipes, but will you guys be able to replace the corroded brake pipes? They said, yeah, sure, of course, yeah. Just book the MOT first, and then after the MOT, whatever it fails on, we can sort it out for you. And you know, blah blah. So like, oh, cool. The second reason why I booked it with Quick was because I needed that notification based off of the fact that this car was son. I literally can't drive it on the road without the notification or like an email, text or something like that, just in case I get pulled over saying, you know, I'm taking it to the MOT station. Okay, so fine. Did all of that, got my backs covered. I went to Quick Fit. They did the MOT the first time, and after the MOT, they rang me saying, blah, blah, it's failed on the corroded brake pipe. And I said, yeah, I know. And then they were like, we won't be able to do it. I was like, I came the other day to ask if you could actually replace the corroded brake pipes because I know it was definitely going to fail on that. And you said, yeah. So that's why I booked it with you guys. And, you know, they said, oh, no, we can't actually do it, blah, blah, blah. It's not cost effective, it's not this, it's not that, blah, blah. I said, okay, no problem. I took the car from Quick Fix and I ran one small garage and I was like, here's the situation, can you replace a corroded brake pipe? And they were like, yeah, sure. And they were like, they can do an MOT as well on the spot. And I was like, you know what, rather than taking it from this garage, doing the brake pipes and then taking it back to Quick Fit again for a retest, I was like, yeah, just do everything there at your garage. So the car was in the garage for a couple of days, you know, all done, come and pick it up, this, that, this, that. One thing to know is that when I picked it up from Quick Fit, obviously, there wasn't that. If there was, I would have said. And then I picked it up, and then I saw that big-ass dent. That's exactly where we are. Anyways, at first they were like, blah, blah, blah. Pretty sure it was there before, because if there's stuff like that, we always put it in our reports, our initial report before MOT or stuff like that. Ask for the initial reports. It wasn't there. So definitely, it was not there before it came to your garage. And I was like, blah, 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 let's check on the CCTV. They checked the CCTV as well. But after zooming in, it's not very clear as to if it was there or not. So at the end of the day, you know, just so everybody is happy, they said, no problem. They didn't really claim liability like that, I'll be honest. They didn't claim liability like that. But they were like, don't worry, we'll sort it out for you. Fine, thank you. What they did yesterday was they just used like a little paint repair kit, cleaned it up, and the manager told me, I've rang a painter, blah, blah, blah. We'll get the dent sorted out for you and then we'll, you know, paint over it and stuff. But that will be like in the next couple of days. So I was like, okay, cool, no problem. So for now, it's not really an issue because even though they've not fully claimed liability, it's not like they're denying 100%, because one of the very first things they were like, at first they were saying, maybe it's where we parked it. Someone might have hit it and, you know, taken off or stuff like that. I don't know. I don't care. Like, all I care about is that it was in your possession and that happened. But I really wasn't ready to, like, you know, drag back and forth. And thankfully, we just talked over it like, you know, grown-ups. But yeah, I'm waiting for them to give me an update in regards to the painter and, you know, pulling out the dent. But I'll show you what they've done right now to the car. So far, so good. Unless they backtrack again and start talking left and right, there will be an issue. But for now, let's just say there's no issue. Let's just, you know, everywhere good. Let's just say there's no issue. So that is what they've done now. And what they've done, I think, is like a paint correction. I don't even know what they've put on this, but like a scratch remover tool or something like that. They've like eliminated some of the scratch and put some little filler, but there's still a dent. You can see the dent, literally. You can literally see the dent. Fingers crossed they get back to me, we get this all sorted. But for now, we have another slight issue. Let's keep the garage drama and the MOT issues aside. MOT is passed, that's the most important thing. I'll keep you guys updated what the garage says. But for now, we have another non-MOT related issue. So I've realized that this diode or this plug only works on 1 and 3. The fan doesn't come on 2 and it doesn't come on 4. And I've been reading on forums and on Facebook groups. Apparently, this is a common issue again as well on this Mark III Clios. And the issue comes from the resistor and the connector behind this glove box. Apparently, there's a cheap fix and it's literally this little connector that sits with the resistor behind the glove box. It gets burnt all the time, and once that happens, you get symptoms like this. So I'm hoping that is the same issue as well here, because apparently it's a quick fix. It's literally a case of removing the other connector out, and this one already comes with wires, so figuring out where the wires go and connecting that in. Hopefully this solves our issue. Let's get started. Battery off first, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. This is the exact connector we need to get out. Would you look at that? One of the spots there is burnt, and that's literally what I was hoping to see when I opened this out. Hopefully the resistor itself is not burnt, but yeah, you can see that. So let's get to swapping this out now. Okay, I have finally completed the crimping. Oh my God. I don't want to tell you how long that took me, but yeah, I know they said it was a 10 minutes job. It was not. This crimping was hard. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty, but we're not chasing pretty here. We're chasing functionality. And torque test, it works. Torque test, doesn't pull out. Torque test. Yeah, everything is solid. So let's test this out and be sure that this is our fix to this guy. Return this bad boy in and connect the battery. Moment of truth, boys and girls. Oh, yes. 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 And 4, let's go! 4 wasn't working before, now 4 works properly. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Problem solved. I've individually wrapped each crimp together, and yeah, I'm going to use this again. This is what I used, this fabric loom thingy. I'm going to use that again, go over it and then secure it somewhere so it doesn't really just hang around. And then, job done, we can put the glove box back in and we can call it a day. Honestly, this is OEM style. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. This is OEM style. Honestly, you won't even know I was here. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how it looks there. Now that's absolutely job done on the Clio in regards to the fan blower, heater, resistor, everything you want to call it, whatever. But yeah, that's done. If there's one thing I miss about my Ford, it's the way it handles in the corner. And then when I even installed lowering springs on it, oh my God, it was so nice in the corner. It just hugs the corner. It's like, you know, it wasn't very fast. I absolutely love the handling. I can't wait to see if this Clio has potential in terms of the handling or not. So, out of curiosity, after the Clio passed its MOT, I ran a quick history check on it using AutoHistoryCheck. Most of the details line up fine, but it did flag a mileage anomaly in the MOT history. I genuinely didn't know about that before. Some of the older records, when I checked, some were logged in kilometers, some were in miles. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but either way, it's still useful to know. It doesn't change anything now that the car has passed its MOT, but I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check your car or a car you want to buy. You can use my code YAB25 for 25% off, and it helps support the channel. But as always, don't rely on one tool. Make sure you do your own checks. Anyways, before we go for a test drive, like I said, I haven't really driven this thing properly, so I don't really know how it handles in the corner. I'm still curious to know what it does, but I think we should break down how much it's cost us to get this £0 car that was scrapyard bound to getting his MOT and passing. We spent £190 on those scrapyard parts. If you remember, the suspension bits and bobs, the wiper stock, and then the mirror. £40 for the front radiator support bar, £34 for the wiper motor, £60 for the brake discs and pads, £50 for the first MOT, £125 for the second MOT with the brake pipe. Lastly, we also spent £9.95, let's just say £10 for the heater resistor plug. In total, we have spent £499 for just under £500 that we've spent to get this car from where it was to being roadworthy and, you know, a clean shell. Everything is all good and fine. It's not a bad spend because right now we have a roadworthy shell and we can take it whatever direction we like. So you let me know in the comment section what you want to see me do to this Clio. Let me know. I'll be reading the comments. Let's go for a drive, shall we?
Manos, con el sabor de tu boca, suelto y me entrego a tus brazos, siempre he deseado amar así, me entrego a ti, como el sol se entrega al mar. Cuando te vi fue algo en ti que reconocí. Amar así, amar así, amar así, amar así. Con el calor de tus manos, con el sabor de tu boca, suelto y me entrego a tus brazos, siempre he deseado amar así, me entrego a ti, como el sol se entrega al mar. Cuando te vi fue algo en ti que reconocí. Amar así, amar así, amar así, amar así.
Wow, what a ride. Now I kind of understand why people are going crazy over, you know, the sportier versions of this Clio. It's very, very good in terms of like the handling. Well, let me not oversell it. It's got potentials in terms of the handling. But one thing I've noticed though, I'm pretty sure it's got to do with the suspension bits and bob that we got from the scrapyard. It's very bouncy. It doesn't feel like a hatchback. It just feels like you're riding a horse, like you're in a 4x4. And understandably, that suspension was like a temporary, you know, bit and bob just to get the MOT pass. But yeah, I think it can only get better. It's got potentials. I like the way it handles, and yeah, it's not nippy. It's not fast. It's only a 1.2 liter. Understandably, it's not fast, but I think we can turn this from just a boring Clio to something that's much more fun to drive. You let me know what you think in the comment section, and if you've enjoyed watching today's video, make sure to drop a like, hype the video, drop a comment as well, subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes on this Clio, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.